Hello, everybody. Do you know what is the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat? It is simple. A thermometer measures the existing temperature around it, whereas the thermostat sets the temperature in the environment which is in. So be always like a thermostat. That's what I can suggest for you. So in this video, I'm going to give a short summary of this small, tiny, but powerful book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T Harv Eker. So these in this book he talks about all the principles about rich people and poor people. So how rich people act and how poor people act, what are the traits they have, and let's go dig into it them. So rich people think they always create their life, whereas poor people think life happens to them. This single trait will motivates the rich people to build their life, to do the required things and build their life. And the second difference is rich people play the money game to win, and the poor people play the money game not to lose. There is a huge difference between both. Rich people do whatever it takes to win the game, whereas poor people always in a losing mentality and play the money game not to lose, and he's afraid of his money losing in that game. And rich people always committed to being rich, so they do whatever it takes and they want to stay there in the society, whereas poor people just want to become rich, and it is shallow, it is not the deeper feeling inside their own hearts. So that's the reason they stay poor. And rich people always think big, always think big. So they always have this mindset of thinking big, whereas poor people always think small. And rich people always focus on opportunities, whereas poor people always focus on obstacles. So as the quote says, whichever area you focus on, it expands. If you focus on opportunities, opportunities will expand. If you focus on obstacles, will expand. And the next difference is rich people admire other rich people and successful people, whereas poor people, due to their conditioning of the society, always criticize other successful and rich people. And rich people associate with the positive and successful people, whereas poor people associate with negative and unsuccessful people. So, whichever the environment is in, it impacts that person, whether it is rich or poor. So, that's the reason rich always choose to be surrounded by the positive people and as well as the successful people. And rich people always try to promote themselves and their values. So they won't feel shy putting their work before the people. Whereas poor people always think negative, and when it comes to selling and promotion, they are always skeptical. So remember one thing, if someone is selling something to somebody, if that product or service has a value, selling is helping. Remember this. If someone is selling something to you, if it is useful to you, don't think like a value exchange or I'm giving money to them. Even though you exchange value by the means of money, but eventually he or she is helping you. And one more difference is rich people are bigger than their problems, whereas poor people are always smaller than their problems. That is the reason they always struggle with the problems. So whenever a rich people hit the problem, he always go beyond that plane and think and try to resolve that problem. And one more difference is rich people are excellent receivers. So if one person want to become rich, he should be excellent in receiving, whether it is from universe or the people or whatever. So there should not be an obstacle here while you are receiving something, whether it is a money or wealth or whatever. You should be an excellent receiver, whereas the poor people are poor receivers. And the most important difference is rich people manage their money very well, whereas poor people mismanage their money very well. They also do the with the same magnitude, but in the wrong way. Rich people always focus on developing a net worth, whereas poor people always looks for the working income. Rich people have chosen to be paid on the results, whereas poor people have chosen to be paid on the time exchange. So rich people exchange value, and once either of his service or goods or products deliver the results for others, he will be paid. But whereas the poor people who exchange the time for their money will always stay poor. And one more difference is rich people always have their money work for them, but poor people always work for the money. This itself is enough to keep the rich people rich and the poor people poor. Poor people cannot multiply their time, whereas rich people can, because they have money put into different baskets, and that money will work for the rich people and generate more money. So with this, we are done with the most of the differences between the rich and poor and the topics that are discussed in this book. And if one can follow all the principles discussed in this book, so it will be easy to become rich. My name is Pavan Komaravolu, and I'm on a mission to help over 1 million employees to start and scale their online businesses and help build their communities. If you are the one looking for the opportunity, I would highly recommend you to fill the Google form, fill the survey, and I leave the link in the below description. So if you're watching on the YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so that and hit that bell icon so that you will be notified on my future videos. I thank you for watching and I hope to see you in my next video.